what's going on, AP Lit 2? Hey, it's your boy G Money. I'm out here in the snow, in the wilderness. And you know what? A-Drizzy and I, we're about to bring you the analysis of The Snowman by Wallace Stevens. Alright, let's get right into the poem. Let's go!
The Snowman by Wallace Stevens. One must have a mind of winter to regard the frost and the boughs of the pine trees crusted with snow, and have been cold a long time to behold the junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough in the distant glitter of the January sun, and not to think of any misery in the sound of the wind, in the sound of a few leaves, which is the sound of the land, full of the same wind that is blowing in the same bare place. For the listener who listens in the snow, and nothing himself, beholds nothing that is not there, and the nothing that is.
Born into a family that encouraged him to read at a young age, Wallace Stevens became a strong writer and intellectual in his youth. He worked for a school newspaper, earned many awards for his work, and received high marks in all of his classes. Stevens studied at Harvard and continued practicing his literary skills, writing for multiple publications there. However, he became bored with the lack of creativity and with the encouragement of his father became a lawyer. Despite the workload of being a lawyer, Stevens wrote his best work during this time, balancing his creative life with the mundane day job. He would write his poems to and from work, finding inspiration with nature and exercising his imagination, something he valued highly. Stevens believed it was a poet's purpose to interpret the external world through their imagination, stating, "Life is not people and scene, but thought and feeling." In his poem, The Snowman, Stevens is able to find the beauty of winter that many other people would not see. As highly functioning organisms, humans tend to assert their own emotions in their surroundings. This is not necessarily a bad thing, as it allows humans a means to interpret their environment, sense danger or safety, and act on that analysis. However, those same emotions that are helpful also cloud humans from realizing true beauty, as in the case of winter. In his poem, The Snowman, Wallace Stevens argues that the reader must change their mindset in order to appreciate the sublimity of winter through various poetic devices, most importantly, the metaphor of the snowman. In Stevens's first three stanzas, he introduces the reader to the winter setting of the poem through imagery, synecdoche, and personification. He begins the poem with a synecdoche in line 2, to regard the frost and the boughs. Here, he provides the reader with descriptive clues about their surroundings as they read the stanzas. The vivid imagery immerses the audience in snow drifting across the air and piled on the ground with crystallized sheets of ice that cover ponds and hang from trees. The references of the boughs and bare trees stripped of their leaves by the cold atmosphere contribute to the setting. In the next stanza, Stevens continues utilizing imagery, revealing the junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough in the distant glitter. Through his eloquent and lively descriptions, he places his audience directly in this environment, surrounding them in the winter-filled setting. Stevens completes his detailing of the setting in the third stanza with an auditory clue, writing, "Misery in the sound of the wind." With this use of personification, he immerses the audience's sense of hearing in the environment as well, making them recall the harsh sound of misery that is attributed to the winter wind. Stevens's first three stanzas utilize synecdoche, imagery, and personification to fully engage and place the reader in the winter setting. By doing so, Stevens captures the reader by exhibiting his enlightening and environment views on winter, setting up his argument for how the audience can do so as well. In the final two stanzas, Stevens shifts towards making his point about how to interpret the season using repetition and the word nothing. The word same invokes a feeling of uniformity in readers. Yet Stevens masterfully pushes this feeling further, repeating that word in the fourth stanza. He wants the reader to understand a fundamental beauty of winter that most do not see: consistency. People enjoy fall due to the changing colors of leaves. Others enjoy the spring as the flowers bloom and reclaim their hues. But there is a subtle beauty in consistency. With winter comes bare trees, blankets of snow, and the emptiness of the cold air. But this can be comforting. Nothing unexpected, nothing to change. Immediately after, in the fifth stanza, Stevens bends the word nothing into something substantial. It is here, with this word, that Stevens reveals exactly what the reader must change about themselves. They must be nothing. They must let go of all their preconceived notions about a harsh, unforgiving winter. Once they do this, they will see nothing that is not there. They will not see that cruel landscape because it is not cruel in itself. With this release of emotion, the reader can finally see the nothing that is there. The nothing that is simple and does not feel. The nothing that is beautiful in its lack of emotion and substance. Finally, Stevens employs an overarching metaphor of a snowman, as opposed to an inanimate snowman, to show that someone who is cold, objective, and able to remove human feelings can properly appreciate winter's beauty. Despite its title, the snowman does not refer to the round figure composed of snowy spheres. Rather, it portrays a man that follows Stevens's winter mindset. He slowly reveals this underlying metaphor as the poem progresses, and by the end, readers truly understand how to appreciate winter by embodying the snowman illustrated by Stevens in his namesake poem. A person builds a snowman using man-made aspects and creations. Stevens's snowman includes a seemingly minor but significant space, separation between man and snow. To truly appreciate winter, man must distance themselves from their previous emotions and feelings towards the season. Ultimately, the space is what makes someone fully immersed in winter and creates a snowman. Overall, Wallace Stevens' poem, The Snowman, conveys to readers the importance of detaching from human emotion to understand the true magnificence of winter and nature as a whole. Structurally, the poem utilizes a heavy amount of enjambment used in a tercet structure, providing the reader with the cold and objective yet consistent feeling of winter. Stevens immerses his audience into the feeling of winter through imagery and synecdoche, then steps back to make his point of how to properly regard these traits he described. Once one has distanced themselves from emotions, they can truly appreciate winter and become a snowman.